On October 19, 2023, an accusation of infidelity led to a volatile confrontation. The wife, seeking to diffuse the growing tension, called her parents for help, but their arrival would precede a moment of irreversible violence. The aftermath was a crime scene unfolding in a quiet Daytona Beach neighborhood. Authorities later confirmed the grim details. A woman was dead, her husband critically injured in what appeared to be a murder and attempted suicide. The tragedy had struck after 6:30 that evening on Fulton Street. The location was just blocks from North Street and George W. Ingram Boulevard. Investigators stated the couple had been arguing before the dispute took a fatal turn. The initial emergency call reached officers just before 7 p.m. They arrived to find 35-year-old Chantel Atkins shot in the front yard. Inside the home, his wife, Shante Atkins, was discovered shot to death. Police determined that at some point during the argument, Atkins had armed himself with a rifle and killed her. What causes a man to turn on his wife of 7 years? The answers lie buried in their shared past. A deeper examination of their lives is necessary to understand the tragedy. A chilling fragment remains. I don't have it. Low. Shante Spencer entered the world on August 19, 1989, in Daytona Beach, Florida. Known as Tay to her loved ones, she was a graduate of Mainland High School's class of 2007 and later attended Daytona State and Kaiser colleges. While maintaining a full-time job, she pursued her passion, earning a nursing degree from Daytona College on February 18, 2021. Her social media post announcing the achievement was filled with gratitude, crediting her faith for guiding her. For 6 years, Shante had been a medical assistant at Florida Cancer Specialists, providing care to patients. Then, in July of 2021, she proudly announced a new chapter in her career at Advent Health. Shante's compassion extended into her community through charity work. She was described by those who knew her as a warm, hardworking, and loving soul. At the center of her universe was her daughter, Terry, born November 28, 2008. For 4 years, Tay devoted herself to raising Terry. In 2012, her life intersected with that of Chantel Atkins. Recorded moments from their life together paint a picture of casual intimacy. One can hear his voice, claiming her as his wife, a stark contrast to the darkness that would follow. Their life was lived out loud, a performance for the world to see, masking the complex realities beneath the surface. Chantel, known as Shan, also grew up in the Daytona Beach area. He and Shante walked the same high school halls and attended the same college, their paths seemingly intertwined from the start. Their lives were rooted in the same community. He worked for a local beverage company, drove trucks, and cooked. A shared passion for motorcycles was another bond they held. To distinguish between their similar names, they will be referred to as Tay and Shan. Their official story began on April 12, 2012. 4 years later, on April 16, 2016, they were married. From the outside, their relationship appeared to be a flawless romance. Their social media was a curated gallery of happy moments, outings, trips, and shared motorcycle rides. In one video from 2017, Shan is seen dancing for Tay on her birthday, a portrait of devotion, the sound of a celebration. Tay's mother spoke of Shan with deep affection, viewing him as a son. She praised his commitment not only to Tay but to her daughter, Terry, calling him the best son in the world. Shan himself once posted about his own vulnerability, crediting Tay as his source of strength. It was the image of a man admitting his weakness and finding support in his wife, writing that even Superman had a weakness. For Father's Day 2022, Tay's post celebrated Shan as a hero to her daughter. She wrote about his unwavering presence over the past 10 years, a man her daughter could always count on. He had stepped into the role of a father and excelled. For their anniversary in 2023, Tay wrote that he had been her headache for 11 years. On June 2, 2023, they were together for Terry's 8th grade awards ceremony, another moment of family pride. Everything seemed to be on a positive trajectory. On August 19, 2023, Tay turned 34, describing it as her best birthday weekend. In their earlier years, Shan had been heavier, but he had since transformed his physique. Tay, too, was on a journey of self-improvement after motherhood had changed her body. She was present and focused on moving forward, fully engaged in her life and her own transformation. On October 9, 2023, Tay celebrated losing 14 pounds. But as their physical appearances changed, a subtle, unsettling shift in Shan's demeanor seemed to emerge in their photographs. While Tay remained warm and vibrant, he began to look distant. A shadow had long lingered in their lives. Shan's battle with alcohol dependency. A cup or bottle was a constant presence in his hands and photos, but Tay was determined to help him. She once declared that while he may not be perfect, he was perfect for her. Yet, it was always Tay posting publicly, celebrating their union. Reports indicate Shan had recently been in a recovery center for his drinking. By October 2023, Tay reportedly discovered messages on Shan's Apple Watch suggesting infidelity. The timing was noted by some. The alleged affair began around the time Shan had lost weight. As his body changed, so did his behavior. While he was out, Tay was at home, raising a daughter, working, and earning a degree, all while publicly affirming their bond. The confrontation on October 19th was the culmination of multiple crises. She was grappling with his relapse, the discovery of his infidelity, and the fact that he had allegedly taken her motorcycle while intoxicated just days after leaving rehab. The argument at their Fulton Street home was combustible. In a desperate move, Tay called her parents, hoping they could calm the situation. When they arrived around 6:30 p.m., they walked toward their daughter. It was then that Chantel retrieved a firearm and shot Shante as she tried to leave with them. He then threatened her parents, forcing them to run for their lives. The 911 call was logged just before 6:37 that evening. Tay's father broke his leg fleeing the scene, while her mother flagged down approaching officers. When police secured the scene, Shante was already gone. Chantel was found in the yard with a gunshot wound to his shoulder. Aside from her father's injury, the parents were physically unharmed. Those who witnessed the couple's daily life were stunned. The family reunions, the anniversary cruises, it all painted a picture of love. The violent reality was impossible to reconcile with their public facade. Shan's uncle described his shock, calling them a loving couple who had just attended a family reunion. The sentiment was echoed by friends who saw what they believed was real love, making the brutal end incomprehensible. The police report was stark. A domestic argument in Daytona Beach escalated, leading a husband to shoot his wife before turning the gun on himself. Chantel Atkins was the shooter, and for those who knew them, the truth was a devastating blow. For those who knew them, the official account of events felt unbelievable. Authorities, however, detail a heated argument that prompted a desperate call to her parents. They raced to the scene, but before they arrived, police allege Atkins discharged his rifle. Shante Atkins was discovered deceased inside the home near the front entrance. Her mother had reportedly run into the street, frantically waving for police. A neighbor, Theodore Carter, heard the disturbance and, like the family, was stunned this occurred in that house. He was a familiar face in the neighborhood, often exchanging greetings with residents. But after shooting his wife, Chantel was found in his own yard with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the chest. He was transported to a hospital and ultimately survived. Now, friends and family are left to grapple with the unanswered question of what went wrong. They can only attempt to piece together the puzzle of that night. Compounding the heartbreak, Shante's father had just marked his 51st birthday 9 days earlier. As soon as Chantel was medically stable, he was arrested. The charges included first-degree counts for the death of Shante and 2 counts of aggravated assault against her parents. The Daytona Beach Police Department handled the investigation. Shante's funeral was held on November 4, 2023. An avid motorcyclist, she was honored with a memorial ride, a tribute to a shared passion. The case proceeded to trial in Volusia County in early June of 2025, lasting 2 days. The jury required only 17 minutes to return a verdict on all 3 counts. On June 4, 2025, Chantel Atkins was declared guilty. State Attorney R.J. Lariza remarked on the case, calling it every parent's worst nightmare. He stated that the victim lost her life directly in front of her parents, after which Chantel Atkins threatened them as well. Sentencing occurred on June 23, 2025. Atkins received a life sentence, plus 10 years for the assaults. Shante's sister posted about the verdict, writing that despite the difficult day, she could finally breathe again. On October 18, 2025, she posted again, this time recalling the day before the incident 2 years prior. She recounted a call on October 18, 2023, when he claimed he was struggling. She admitted to dismissing his words, even laughing about it with her mother. On October 19th, her sister was gone. The post was filled with regret. Now, October 18th and 19th remain indelible dates of profound pain. This happened just 2 months after Shante celebrated a birthday she called her best ever. These stories are a reminder to recognize warning signs and offer help before it is too late. Join us for the next episode of Crime of Passion. The scene is a stark contrast. Archival footage shows a group gathering. Their voices cheerful. A birthday is being celebrated. The atmosphere filled with joy. A playful, intimate moment between the couple is captured. The energy of the party is palpable. A happy birthday wish is sung out loud. The traditional birthday song is heard. The sounds of celebration fill the air. Behind the curated smiles and shimmering anniversary posts of Shante and Chantel Atkins lay a fractured reality that no lens could capture. We live in an era where perfect is often a digital mask, hiding the suffocating shadows of addiction, infidelity, and escalating control. Shante's story is a devastating reminder that love is not a performance, and silence is not safety. When the Superman in your life becomes a source of fear, or when recovery is traded for rage, the time for keeping it in the family has passed. True love protects. It does not possess. It builds. It does not bury. We must learn to look past the filters. If a loved one is drowning in dependency, or if the tension at home feels like a ticking clock, do not wait for the explosion. Reach out. Intervene. Break the cycle before the best birthday becomes a final farewell. Let this tragedy be the catalyst for a difficult conversation that saves a life. Because justice, even a life sentence, can never fill the void of a daughter lost or a mother gone. Choose to see the truth and choose to act before the screen goes dark forever.